Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and today just a killer Sudoku, and I say just in the consciousness that I very rarely get given puzzles that are just anything. So we shall have a look at this in a moment. It's by Astral Sky, who featured on the channel 3 months ago, I'm guessing, and I think Simon did their video last time, so they get to join the club. Oh, I'm sure it's a popular club of people who both Simon and I have had a go at their puzzles. Well, good luck. Now, don't forget that today is the day. No, it's not. There's 1.5 days left to enter the Jewels of Osiris. So if you're working on that and you've just set aside some time to, or you tried to make a note to set aside some time to finish it off, it's now that you should try. 4 p.m. on the 20th is the closing time. And also, there is the Kids Sudoku Hunt on Patreon as well. So both of those are on Patreon. Join us on Patreon for the extra content we put out there. $3 a month gets you videos of the reward puzzles as well. And it's just some really good stuff. And yeah, that's all there. Now, our apps, of course, we have a killer Sudoku app. So more puzzles like this, I imagine. Lots of puzzles in all of our apps from some of the greatest constructors the world has ever seen. And you can get them for $5 or $6 a go. It really is good value. Even less for the gas apps, which have 60 genuinely approachable Sudoku puzzles in each when they're complete. Now, that's all on the links under the video, where you can also find our merchandise and Sven's Sudoku pad and how to get to the Discord server where there's always chat going on. But the rules of this are very simple. The first link under the video is to this puzzle by Astral Sky called Killer Sudoku. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every row, column and box, we're going to be putting the digits 1 to 9. Now, what about the cages? Well, digits in a cage cannot include any repeats. And the cages sum to the total given. That's it. That's all we get. At least all the cages have totals this time. But there aren't that many of them for a killer grid. It's typical in a newspaper which would publish a killer Sudoku to have every cell covered by a cage. We don't get that today, we just get a bunch. And anyway, give it a try on the link under the video. I am going to start now. Let's get cracking. So, well, we've got a 10 cage. That's got to contain 1, 2, 3, 4, because they're the 4 minimum different Sudoku digits. Now, I can see that those 4 cells all see these two, because these two, obviously they're in the same row as those 3, and they're in the same box as that one. So they have to be a bit bigger. It's not actually that helpful. I mean, this one, slightly. I was going to say this is going to be the biggest digit in this cage, but even that's not necessarily true. Okay, let's think about these 2 cages together. Yes, this is better. This is better. Those yellow cells add up to 25. But what is the limitation on those 6, which are all in the same row? Well, they have to be 6 different digits. So the minimum they can be is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now they add up to 21. So if these yellow cells add up to 25, those 2 can't add up to more than 4. And that does tell us something about them. It tells us that there is a 1. It's either a 1-2 pair or a 1-3 pair. There is a 1 in there. This isn't a 1, it's in the same box. Now, we also know about these that there's only 1 degree of freedom, because these add up to 3 or 4. These, well, they could add up to 21 and be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or they could add up to 22 and be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And therefore, they don't have 8 or 9 in. So that's not 8 or 9. I was going to say, and now it is the biggest digit in its cage. That's still not necessarily true, because it could be a 5. I'm getting a little obsessed by the biggest digit in its cage. Oh, maybe I meant to think of all 3 cages. Because we'll be up to at least a 6 here. Okay, what do they add up to? 10 and 15 is 25, and 11 is 36. These have to add up to at least 21. Oh, no, these have at most 15. That's... But they can't add up to 15. They can only add up to a maximum of 13. With a 1-3 pair and a 9 in the middle. And that can't be. Hang on, there's something going on here and I'm not understanding it. It couldn't be a 9 in the middle because this would be a 2, and this can't be a 2 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are definitely used up in these cells. Oh, that's interesting. So this has now become 6, 7, 8 or 9. This is 2, 3, 4 or 5. And now the most that these can add up to is 9, with a 1-3 pair on the outside and a 5 there. And if they added up to 9 in this yellow total of 36, these would add up to 27. And that's too low. They have to add up to at least 28. What is that telling me? Okay, these have to add up to at least 28. In this total of 36, these add up to at most 8. Oh, that might be another way I could have got this to be 2, 3, 4 or 5. It's a bit strange though. I don't really feel like I've grasped what's going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Either, well, these cells contain either 5 and 6 or 5 and 7, which is a contribution of 11 or 12. So, the other digits in the 15 cage then are 1, 2 or 1, 3. I don't know, it's not quite as helpful as I thought. There's no 4 in this cage. I mean, you've also got the point that those 4 cells are all seen by these 2. I don't quite know what else that does. I think I've spent a long time on these 3 cages, and maybe I should stop thinking about them. Right, I mean, we've got this 16 cage. That has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. The minimum 5 digits are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that adds up to 15. To increase that total by 1, you can only add 1 to the highest digit in it, otherwise you'd be replicating a digit. So it must be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Now this has 2 options. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Just looking at those 6 different digits, not really getting why that matters. I mean, I suppose it's worth noting 1, 2, and 3 are in those, but the fact that that cage goes into 2 boxes suggests that's not entirely helpful. What about the 27? Right, 27, I think it has 3 options. It could be 9873, 9864, or 9765. That's right. These 6 digits all have to be different. Yeah, okay. The fact I'm going to now take from the 3 possibilities to fill a 27 cage are that none of them contain a 1 or a 2. So in box 5, 1 and 2 are confined into these areas. Right, I'm getting rid of that cross box pencil marking. 1 and 2 are definitely in those cells. These now can't be 1 or 2 because they're used up in row 5. These also can't be. So let's add those two 27s together. That's 54 plus 2 and 1 and some other number is 57 plus somewhere between 3 and 9. Right, purple adds up to somewhere between 60 and 66. If you take out the 45 that must be in box 5, I'll explain that in a moment. I just want to keep this train of thought going. Then these add up to at least 15. And that's interesting. That is interesting. Now I've got 3 cells in this, in this column that are 6, 7, 8 or 9. Right, what was I talking about with 45? Well, we have a secret that we occasionally share with our favourite people, and you qualify today, that every row, column and box in a Sudoku adds up to 45. Because the rules are that 1 to 9 appear in each row, column and box, and they do add up to 45. So that is why I'm saying that 27 plus 27 is 54, plus, well, let's say 1, 2, 3 at an absolute minimum here is 60. Take away the 45 in the middle, and these two left highlighted have to be at least 15. And because they can only be 9 and 8 at a maximum, they go up to a maximum of 17. So it's 15, 16 or 17, 2 degrees of freedom. And I think that means that the third digit in here can only be 3, 4 or 5, the one along with 1 or 2. It does. It definitely does. I'm happy with that conclusion. That's not a 6 now. These are 1, 2 and something else. If they're a 5, that's a 9, 8 pair. Okay. I've thought of 2 ways of proving that one of these 2 cells is a 9 now, in the last 10 seconds. One of them is that those 2 cells add up to at least 15. Okay, that doesn't prove that one of them's a 9, because they could be a 7, 8 pair by that logic. However, both of these cages have a 9 in. So there are 2 9s in the purple area. Now one of them can be in box 5, but the other one has to be in one of these cells. So that's not a 9, that's not a 2. Oh, look! These cells don't contain 8 or 9. In the 16 and 17 cage, we can't go up beyond 7. And we've concluded that these can't go up beyond 5. So 8 and 9 in this row are in those 2 cells. Now, what else do we know about this group of 7? I don't know. These add up to at least 15. Okay, what about these 27 cages? 9873, 9864. Yeah, I mean, I thought about this earlier. I didn't really take it very far. I'm just going to aid memoire, write down those possible fills. I think that's right. Those are the 3 fills for a 27 cage. I'm not considering these cells. I'm just writing down what they are. These 6 digits all have to be different. This one probably must repeat in one of those 2, and this one can repeat in one of those 2. But these 6 have to be different. So if those are the 2 fills, okay. Oh, bother. I was going to say that these 2 are the 2 digits that overlap between 2 of these sets. And I thought that was going to tell me what they were, but if it was those 2 sets, it's a 9 and 8 that overlap. If it was these 2, it's a 9 and 6, and if it's those 2, it's a 9 and 7. So I'd already deduced, I think, there was a 9 in one of those, so that doesn't actually do anything further. It's really interesting, but I'm not getting any further. Okay, let's get rid of the aid memoir. What if that was 1, 2, 3? That would have to be a 4, 6 pair. This would be a 5, 7, and that doesn't exist in the 17 cage. Okay, that's interesting. There isn't a 5, 7 pair in the 17 cage because the other 3 digits would have to add up to 5, and 3 separate digits can't. So there's no 3 here. This is 1, 2, and 4, or 1, 2, and 5. What if it... Ooh. Okay, let's go back to the aid memoir thing. Just to consider that now... Yes. Yes. Sorry. I've got to be a bit more articulate than just sitting here going, yes, yes. So what I'm going to say this time is there is a 3 in this cage, and therefore one of these is a 3, 7, 8, 9 cage. That is definitely one of the 3. One of the 27 cages. So the overlap of 2 digits that must not only be in this cage but also out in the box but also outside it is either 9, 8 or 9, 7. So these don't have a 6. And they do have a 9. Now, well, I mean, that's something. Let's... The next one up is 1, 2, 4, but I don't think that's so much a problem. If this is a 1, 2, 4, you've got 3, 6 here. Oh, it's just as much a problem. Why isn't that obvious to me? Oh, the whole point is if you take 5 out of this group, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 quintuple. That becomes 5, 7, and that's impossible. So 5 is in this group. It's a 1, 2, 5 group. Good Lord, that's taken me ages, hasn't it? That is a 1, 2, 5 group. 7, of course, 7 is one of these digits. So this cage is filled with 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I'm there. I'm getting you, Astral Sky. That can't be a 5. The only place for 5 is, of course, in the centre of the grid, where 5 so often pops up. That can't be a 5. That can't be a 6. Now I've got a 7, 8, 9 triple suddenly appearing in the central column. I've got to place 3 and 4 in these cells. I've got to do this daft aid memoir again, sorry. The one with 3 in is 3, 7, 8, 9. The one with 4 in is 4, 6, 8, 9. The overlap digits that appear both in the cages and outside the box are 8, 9. So that is an 8, 9 pair. And we get another digit after the 5. We get a 7 here. And that's a 4. A 4, I say. And this isn't a 4. This is now a 1, 2, 3 triple. 7 doesn't appear there. 5 and 6 now have to be in this cage. So this cage is a 5, 6, 3, 1 cage. There's no 2 in it. And those 1, 3, 5, 6 all see this cell, which is now a 2. Yes. And this is now a 1, 3 pair, which I could have worked out once we got a 7 in this group. No, that feels wrong. No, that is right. Yes, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 and 9 in this row are there and there. And we've got an X-wing on 8s and 9s. Look at those. That is because 8 and 9 can only be placed in those positions in row 2 and row 5. That uses up the 8s and 9s for columns 1 and 9. That's what an X-wing is. And therefore here, this 13 cage can't have an 8 or 9 in it. This 11 cage can't either, but that has 2 possibilities. Oh, this is brilliant, isn't it? In this row, in row 5, the 6 is in one of those 2 cells, so it's not in these. Oh, those see a 1, 2 pair in the central box. So does that mean this is a 1, 2? No, it doesn't. No. 1, 4, 3, 2, 7. Ah, it's really interesting, this. This cell sees the 4 high digits in its column. Oh, I was going to say it sees all of 1, 3, 4 there. I was actually going to point out very cleverly it sees all of those digits in the 10 cage, but it's much easier to see them there. So that's 2 or 5 in the corner. This one is not so obvious. That's not what to do. Haven't considered the 30 cage at all yet. That is missing. There's 7 digits in it, so the 2 it's missing out of 1 to 9 add up to 15. I don't know much about that yet. Well, I mean, it's telling me that one of these 2 at least is 8 or 9, I think, but that's not very interesting. How do I ever disambiguate which of these rows has a 3 in and which one has a 4 in? Oh, let's just have a look down this central column. We've got, yes, okay, that's really good. 4, 7, 8, 9 pair and a 5 in the central column. 1, 2 used up in the central box. This is a 3, 6 pair. This is a 1, 2 pair at the bottom of the grid. These are 4, 7, 8 and 9. I don't know what to do with those. What about this one? Oh, there must be an X-wing on either 6s and 7s there, putting a 6 or 7 in one of these positions. Okay, not that thrilling. Oh, I've got a 2. It's good old Sudoku. Sorry if my mouse has been hovering over this cell or that 2. But this 2 is looking down at this. So we get 1, 2 disambiguated there. We get 1, 3 resolved at the top. 3 comes out of that box cage. Do often get those terms mixed up, and 1 out of those has that not done anything else? 2 comes out of those because it's in the cage already, and 1 out of those. Now I was wondering if this definitely made this a 1 because it can't be a 4. Not so. These are now 2, 3, 4, 7 in this box. These cells also see 8, 9 and 6 in the column amongst various pairs. So I think that has to be a 1, 5 pair. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 6. Yes, it does. And that makes this a 2 in the corner. Maintaining its faith. That sees a 4 in one of those cells, so that's a 3. That's a 4. This pair, no, they're not known. They're from 6, 8, and 9. What else have we got? I thought that was going to yield all sorts of things, and it really didn't. It's a very neat puzzle, isn't it? I really like the way this works together. Now, 1, 5 pair there. Still a bit puzzled how we're ever going to know which of these cages is which, but there must be a mechanism. Right, I've got to think about the 30 cage because I'm getting nowhere thinking about anything else. Right, okay, I've got something, yes. The 30 cage is missing 2 high digits from 6, 7, 8, 9. It has all the other digits in. Therefore, it has, that makes this 4 that we've just got really useful, yes. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all definitely in this. Now, 1 and 2 could be anywhere in those cells, but 4 can't now be in those 2. 4 is somewhere there. Oh, I thought this was going to do it. That means that's not a 4 and that's not a 7. Now what, okay, I need to, 1 and 2 are in this group. So one of these outliers is a 1 or a 2. Four, somewhere here. So 1, 2 and 4 are in this set. Oh, 3 X-Wing. Look, there's a 3 in that cage and there's a 3 in this cage. That is going to use up the 3s in columns 7 and 8. We need a 3 in column 9. It now has to be here. And 3 has to be in this group of cells. Oh, that's not quite as useful this way round. But we now know that this group of cells contains 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these are definitely higher than that digits. One, 2, 3 and 4 are in this group. I want it to be telling me something about these. That must be from 5, 8 or 9. I can get that. Oh, and that's a bit like a triple. Yeah, look, here's a quintuple. Those have to be from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because they've used up 2, 3, 1, 4 in the box. This is from 5, 8, 9 because 1, 2 and 4 all have to be in this group of cells. And this also sees 6, 7, sorry, 1, 2, 3 and 4 all have to be in these cells. That also sees 6 and 7. So now we've got a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quintuple. That can't be 7, and we've placed 7 in the plus shaped cage. The others are, well, that is, and that are from 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously neither can be a 4 in this box, and that one can't be a 3 either. Now, I don't think the equivalent stuff is available over this side. Oh, of course it is. Where does 1 go in this column? Perfectly simple question, and there's a 1 in this box. So slow. 2 is now in one of those 2 places, and that's not quite as helpful. If that was a 5, 6 pair, that's a 7, and that doesn't work. Where does 4 go in this column? I just need to look at what's in this cage and ask where it goes in column 9. 4 cannot go here, so it's here. So we've got a 4, 7. That gives me 6, 7 over here. I've got a 7 X-Wing. Well, it's not an X-Wing, it's just Sudoku now. So one of those is a 7. That means the digits missing from the 30 cage don't include a 7. They are 6 and 9. 6 must be in one of those cells in this row. 9 is in one of those 2 in row 8. 1, 2, 3, 4 are here. So that's 5, 8 or 9, just as that one is. And these 2 cells are 9 and whatever goes in here with a 7. Let's keep doing this final column. 3, 7, 4. That's not a 7. These are from 2, 5, 6, but they can't have a 6 in. It is just constantly repeating, looking at that cage and considering column 9. And I keep stopping and having to come back to it. No 6 there, so that's a 6. This is a 5, 8, 9 triple in the row, so that's not 5, 8 or 9. That's not 6. 3, 5, 6, 1. 4 is in one of those. That's okay. Wow, this puzzle really does strain not to give up its secrets, doesn't it? 2 in this column has to be in one of those cells. So 9 and 6 were missing from this cage. So 6 in this box has to be here. Not interesting. Again. 4 in the box is in one of those two. 3 in the cage is in one of those two. Oh, what about this? 7, 8, and 9 are the 3 digits not placed. Now, can I pull off some quintuple in column 8? I bet I can. These, well, that is, yes, look, this is 7, 8, or 9. It sees 6, 1, a 3, 5 pair, and 4, 2. So I've got a triple. That's much more powerful than a quintuple. It makes this a 5. Wow, how did that digit suddenly get freed up? Now, what else with the 7, 8, 9 triple? That can't be 3 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the other. No, we've got 3 and 5 in. 1, 2, 4, 6. So that is 1 or 2, which is a very interesting pair. Let's just mark up the other cells. 2 or 4 here, I think. So as long as I've got that triple marked up right. Anyway, I get this 1, 2 pair in the bottom row. That becomes a 3. That becomes a 4. Then I can do 1, 4 at the top. And there's no 4 here. That's a 2, 3 pair. These must have a 6 in. That's been true for ages. I just hadn't noticed. That's a 7, therefore. And that's not. That is a naked 6. It sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 in the row, 5, 8, 9 as a... Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 in the box, 5, 8, 9 in the row. 3, 7, 6, 1, 4, 2. This is 5, 8, or 9. That is a 2, 4 pair along with that. That's the 1, 2 pair in the bottom row. What have I got left to place in the bottom row? 5, 8, and 9, which is becoming a bit of a familiar refrain, as though that is a group of cells I'm going to see again and again. Now, that digit was going to go, sorry, whatever was not 9 here, that's it, was going to go into the cage. So that's a 5, 7 pair now. This is a 9. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. And I'm just going to check the maths. Yes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. This is 4 or 8. This is 3, 4 or 8. There's a 5, 7 pair, so that's not a 5. Now I've got an 8, 9 pair in the bottom row, so that is a 5. 1, 2, and 8 to place in the box. But I've got a 2, 3 pair, so 2 there. Then a 1, 8 pair here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. That one is 1, 2, or 8. 3 in this row is placed here. 4 is placed in this row. This is known. It's a 9. That's sorted out my red X-wing, finally. It's taken ages, hasn't it? Brilliant. Brilliant delay. This is a 7, 8 pair at the top. And these purple cages that started it, they're totally unpopulated at the moment. No 9 there. Still that 7, 8, 9 triple. I'm sure there is stuff popping all over the place. You have to let me find it. I'm afraid that's the way this relationship works. As distressing as it may be to some of you. What's this? Unmarked cell. 1, 6, 8, or 9, I'm going to say for now. Is that in some... Yeah, no, 5 in the column. 7 in the column. 7 in the column has to be there. That took a lot of finding. Those don't have an 8 in. Oh, I should have done that from here. Okay. 8, 3, 7, 9, 5. How is this not fully unwound at this point? I am feeling like a bit of a prize numpty here. 4 is looking at those two cells. There we go. That's what's happening. Now, 1, 4 pair. That sorts out the 2 and the 4 there. these must all be pretty much resolved. We can take out 1 from those, and 2 from that makes it an 8, and that does finish them off. Right, 9 there gives me 8 there, 9 here, 8 there. Now I need a 9 in this cage. I don't know where it goes, but it fixes this 7-9 pair. I need an 8 in this cage, and that fixes the 6-8 pair. And that fixes the 3-6 pair, which is probably very useful. Now, 14 there, these add up to 13. They're not 8-5 or 6-7. They are 9-4. I know the order. Let's just do Sudoku on these 8 and 7 to finish the box. These other ones in these rows must be resolved. 3 is looking at that. What an excellent puzzle this is. Well done, Astral Sky. You really have made me feel a bit small from time to time doing this, but I, you know, in some ways I think I've got through it fairly efficiently. It's just not simple. There we go, 33 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh, brilliant stuff. So I really enjoyed that. That's a very clever killer Sudoku. And yeah, there we go. Another puzzle done today. And we will see you again tomorrow, I hope, for more probably gas tomorrow, I would think. And looking forward to that. See you then. Bye for now.